Hey guys, I'm Erik Peterson and I'm a men's dating and relationship coach for skillofattraction.com. And if you've been following me for a while, I'm sure you've realized that I've been MIA for about a month or so. And the reason why is I moved into a new studio and I've been having one technical difficulty after another. And I finally got it up to where I believe everything is working. I shot this video and right at the end of the video my battery even died. And you know, God hates me. I don't know what else to say, but anyway, I think we got everything working right. As you can see, I have a new background. We're going to test it out and see how it works, but let's just get on to the video. Today's attraction tips video is called Touching Women to Boost Attraction. Now, I've talked a bit about the importance of touching women when it comes to boosting her attraction and ultimately seducing her, but I've never really went in depth about it. And this is actually a pretty important ingredient to building attraction and creating rapport and ultimately seduction. Because as a man, it's your job to set the tone, take the lead, and ultimately break the touch barrier. I mean, if you want to seduce her and build her attraction, you must create a physical connection. But this is something that you must do. This isn't the woman's job. In most cases, women aren't going to be jumping into your lap and making out with you and ripping off your clothes, especially women who you've just met. It's the man's job to covertly communicate his sexual interest in her. Plus, turning a woman on is more like slowly turning up a dial, as opposed to just like flipping on a light switch like it is with us men. I mean, we simply hear the word sex or see some skin on a woman and, I mean, we're ready to go. But that's not the case with women. They need to be warmed up first, and touching her is one of the ways that you can begin to do that. Now, before I get too in-depth, I want to be sure that you understand that when I say touching a woman, I'm in no way suggesting that you go out and start touching random women thinking you're turning them on. Especially in this day and age where one false move or touching a strange woman the wrong way can get you into a lot of hot water. Nor am I talking about touching women sexually. In other words, when you're on a first date with a woman, you don't want to be reaching for her crotch or smacking her ass thinking that you're creating rapport and building attraction with her. That's way too overt and it'll most likely scare her. Like I said, women need to be warmed up before you can go in for the kill. So when I say touch women, what I mean is non-sexual touching. This could be something as minor as a high five, or this could be something a bit more daring, like placing your hand on her knee or gently brushing her hair away from her face. Of course, it depends on the moment, how much you've built up her comfort so far, and how much you've built up her attraction, and how she's responding to your touch, which I'll be touching on in this video. So in this attraction tips video, obviously I'll be discussing non-sexual touching, or what is also referred to as Kino in the pickup community. And this is done in order to create rapport, boost her attraction and her comfort as part of the seduction process. But if you guys need my personal help and if you're interested in some private coaching, please head over to my website at skillofattraction.com, click on the coaching tab, and there you'll see that I have several options for you to choose from. I offer standard email coaching as well as emergency email coaching that includes a response from me on weekends and holidays. I also offer both bi-weekly and monthly email coaching where I will work with you throughout that time period. Additionally, I offer phone coaching for my U.S. clients. Now, if you're outside the U.S., I will have some sort of phone or Skype coaching sometime in the future, but for right now, email coaching is the way to go. And I will post a link to both my contact page and my coaching page in the description down below. Now, when it comes to touching a woman, building her comfort, creating that physical connection, communicating a sexual vibe, and ultimately boosting her attraction, you want to begin early, because if you keep hesitating, it will only become awkward the more time that you let go by. And not just for you, but for her too. Eventually, she's going to be sensing your hesitation, your fear, and your awkwardness, and she's going to begin thinking that either you have no experience with women or that you just don't have the balls to begin making moves, both of which does the opposite of raising a woman's attraction. Touching a woman communicates that you're friendly, you're warm, that you're not afraid to touch her, and perhaps most importantly, it will eventually communicate your sexual interest. As I mentioned in some of my other videos, women must see you as a sexual option before there's any chance of romance. Many men do this backwards and out of sequence, thinking that friendship and romance comes first and it will eventually lead to something sexual. But the truth is, romance will not happen unless she perceives you to be a sexual man. So you essentially want to begin touching her right away, but you want to begin with something very minor and low key, where you're not moving too fast and making her uncomfortable. As an example, when you introduce yourself, simply shake her hand, but hold on to her hand for like an extra second than you normally would. And you want to do this while you're looking into her eyes and perhaps even throw a cocky, confident smile in while you're doing this. The idea here is to do this in such a way where it comes across as being natural. And so the best way to do that is to not overthink it or to not really think about it at all. You're just doing what you want and what comes natural. I mean, you want to touch her, right? You want her to know that you think she's sexy, and you want her to know that you want her. I mean, women know that they have something men want, but they're not going to just hand it over to you. First, you must show them your interest in what you want, even if she's already picturing the two of you rolling around naked in bed, before she will begin covertly communicating her sexual interest in you. And as I've said in my videos before, women are the gatekeepers to sex. And in order for her to begin opening that gate, you must begin using the keys. She's not going to just open the gate and invite you right in. So as I mentioned, you want to start touching her with something low key, like a handshake, a high five, or even a hug. But you need to be cognizant of how she's responding to your touch. I mean, if she looks uncomfortable or is resisting, then it's a pretty good sign that either she's not interested in you or she's just not ready to be touched by you. However, at this stage, with these low-key moves, I mean, you're usually pretty safe if she's at all interested in you. I mean, what kind of person is going to refuse a handshake unless they have like some deep hatred for you? Am I right? As the evening or day goes on, you want to gently escalate your touching. Of course, this is all in combination with you talking with each other, you playfully teasing her, and just generally having fun and flirting. I mean, if you're just touching her and nothing else, you're going to be labeled a creep. Now, since she's been receptive and hopefully reciprocal to your flirting and touching so far, take that as a sign to begin escalating your touch even further. As an example, say you're standing next to her and chatting, let your arm touch hers, but without you pulling it away like you crossed some sort of line. Or you could lean into her, the one time it's okay to lean in, and whisper something into her ear. Or say you're standing at a bar and you want to head to the dance floor. Just grab her by the hand and lead her to your destination. Or if you want to sit down, direct her to your seats by placing your hand on the small of her back and gently guiding her there. These are all perfectly acceptable, low-risk ways to touch her and begin to help boost her attraction and the sexual tension. And while you two are interacting, again, you want to watch how she reacts. You especially want to look for her touching you back in similar ways. I mean, if she's touching you back, that's a sign that she wants you to keep escalating your touch. In other words, that's her way of communicating that she likes where this is going and that you should continue. From there, you want to begin being a little bit more daring with your touch. As an example, if you're sitting next to her, you could place your hand on her knee, but just do it for like a second or two and then remove your hand and continue talking and flirting. Or you could gently graze her skin when you're looking at the charm of her necklace to get a closer look. You know, you want to grab her necklace and say, oh, that's really nice, you know, and you just touch her skin just a little bit. Or say you two are facing each other. You're joking around with her, flirting, looking into her eyes. You know, just gently brush her hair away from her face. Now, obviously, if she looks uncomfortable or worse, she slaps your hand away, do not continue. That's a sign that either she's not interested in you at all or you're moving way too fast. Though I've never experienced any woman slapping a hand away for something like that. But if you give her, if she gives you a little smile and looks down or, you know, like, and continues to make eye contact with you, she likes it. And that just might be a good cue for you to go in for a kiss. But as you can see, this is how you gently escalate your touch with a woman and create some rapport and ultimately boost her attraction to the point where she's beginning to open up for seduction. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you two will be in bed later that night, but if she's being receptive, or even better, reciprocating your touch, I guarantee that she's thinking about it, and at the very least, you have her interest. Now, besides you taking the chance and touching her, the key here is to pay attention to how she's responding. Much of the seduction process, or even a growing potential relationship, is about watching the signs that she's given you. I mean, whether you realize it or not, women are always communicating something to you, though it most likely will not be wildly obvious. But once you begin to understand what you should be looking for, it does become a bit more obvious. It just takes a little practice and experience. When I was younger, I used to be scared to death of touching a woman, thinking that they would just freak out or that I was being way too obvious in my interest in her. But one day it just clicked for me when I was out on a date with a girl and she kept touching me and giggling and I realized that she was simply reciprocating my touch. And I wasn't even thinking about how or when to touch her. I was just doing it because I felt comfortable in doing it and she liked it. So if you're a bit shy or afraid to touch a woman you've just met, or if it's a first date, just start out with something very minor and low-key and watch how she responds. If it's a positive response, and it usually will be if she's given you her time in the first place, you will begin to develop the confidence to escalate your touch even further. And if you play your cards right, it won't be long before your bare bodies will be touching. I mean, trust me on this. You're going to be amazed once you start doing it. You're going to be thinking to yourself, holy crap, this works. So just don't be too afraid to do it. Start with something very small and just slowly build your way up where you're feeling confident doing it. So, if you have found this video helpful or any of my videos helpful, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and for you to share it with any of your friends and family. And I would also really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button down below and tick that little bell symbol next to it so you get real-time notifications of when I upload new videos. And in the description down below, not only will I have a link to both my contact page and my coaching page. Oh, and I also have a link to some recommended reading of some great books that will really help you further understand how attraction works and understanding the masculine-feminine dynamics in relationships. But I will also have a link to PayPal if you deem this video worthy of a donation. So that's it for this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.